Hey y'all, it's Ayanna. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on all my socials at _ring bells on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Y'all, we did it. Y'all got me to 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I love interacting with y'all in the comments. I know some of y'all were commenting in the last video saying hashtag road to 2K. And yes, we are on the road to 2K. So with that being said, again, make sure to repost, reshare, and run those numbers up. I got to be more careful with, my language in these videos now that, they watching me. So yeah, but without further ado, as you can tell by the title, this is part 2 to the They Tried to Bully Me. And if you didn't watch that video, I'll link it below, but honestly, it's literally the video right before this one. So go watch that first, and then we're going to jump right in. I know one of my friends texted me, and she was like, I know you didn't leave us on that cliffhanger like that. I know, y'all, this one might be a little bit longer. Like I said, I really had to split it up. So we going to jump right in. All right, y'all. So gotta give y'all the background, gotta set the scene. It'll be more like a recap. So in the last story time, I told y'all like how me and Piglet, we were friends through freshman year. She got held back. She started acting crazy because I didn't want to be friends with her anymore, to the point where she started recruiting people with her to, I guess, call herself bullying me. She needed like a little posse, clique, gang, whatever you want to call it. So that all pretty much got us landed in the principal's office with her mom, her stepdad, the vice principal, the principal, 2 cops, my dad, and me. So like I said, y'all, the night before, she was going crazy, like coming crazy at me online, trying to just saying anything and everything, right? And talking about my height, talking about my weight. And back then, y'all, I was way smaller than I am now. But she was just finding anything to try to like nitpick and everything like that. So like I said, that landed us in the principal's office. And yeah, so the story takes place from there. So like I told y'all, that morning I had decided that it was up. Like as soon as I got out of homeroom, she had to walk past my homeroom in order to get to her class. And like I already told y'all, if she would have looked at me wrong any inch, I was just gonna swing on her. And I just didn't care. Like I was just over. If she said anything, it was up. And like I said, before I could even really get out of homeroom, I was already in the office. And at this point, it was like, what, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning? So I walk in, like I said, I make eye contact with my dad. And I'm like, what am I doing here? So we come in. So the principal's like, come on in, girls, have a seat. We pretty much walked in at the same time. So she goes around the table. She sits next to her, between her mom and her stepdad. I sit next to my dad. So the principal's like, we called this meeting because, we're aware of some, drama, the regular high school drama, back and forth. And we wanted to de-escalate the situation before, anybody gets hurt, us and other students, because it seems to be like a growing issue. So I'm just sitting there, y'all, face twisted up. I had an attitude because what am I here for? Y'all get what I'm saying? And y'all, I'm not innocent, but I really was not doing anything. Like I really wasn't. So my dad's like, okay, well, they've been having issues. What specifically happened that you had to call us in here now, right? So the principal's like, okay, we're getting to that. And I'm sitting here and thinking in the back of my head, like, yeah, can y'all get to it? Because I'm really curious. So I glanced over at like across the table at her. And y'all, it's like a big conference table, right? So me and my dad were sitting on the side. They were sitting this way. The vice principal and the other principal was sitting, well, the principal and the vice principal was sitting there. And the cops were just standing like in each corner behind them, like behind her and her parents. So the principal's like, oh, well, it was brought to our attention, Piglet's mom called and said that you, Mr. Ayanna's dad, was following her home with your wife, my mom. So I'm sitting there like following her home. So my dad's like, who was following her home? So he was like, well, it was stated that you and your wife were following Piglet home yesterday. Like I told y'all in part 1, remember I told y'all you can see Piglet's house from Jasmine's house. She has to walk past Jasmine's house most of the time in order to get to her house. I told y'all my dad was picking me up from her house and to take me home. Piglet was walking by. My dad had the window down waiting for me to come downstairs. She looked in the car. She saw him because she knew my dad's car, rolled her eyes. She kept walking. That was the end of that interaction. This girl went home, told her mom and her stepdad that my dad and my mom were in the car following her home while she was walking home. Yeah. So immediately, I'm like, wait. I was like, I looked over at her. I was like, you're a lying bitch. Y'all know I gotta watch my words. So I'm like, you're a lying B. And she's just sitting there like this. Now you ain't got nothing to say. She's just like fidgeting in her seat, just like. So the vice principal was like, wait, what happened? He was like, what do you mean she's lying? I said, my mom is homesick, hence why she's not at this meeting. And my dad was like, exactly. He was like, I went to pick my daughter up from her friend Jasmine's house. And they were like, yeah, we know Jasmine. He's like, yeah, so you know they're really close. He said, I went to pick her up. Your daughter looked at her mother. Your daughter walked past my car, looked into the car, rolled her eyes, and kept it pushing. He's like, why would I, as a grown adult, he said, that's between the kids. He said, we already told Ayanna, you know, how to handle the situation. So the stepdad is like, well, what do you mean how to handle the situation? So my dad goes, well, your daughter and her clique are trying to bully my child, and we're not going for that. He's like, we already tried to diffuse the situation, and she keeps going. So now she resorts to lying. So her mom is like looking at Piglet, and she's like, Piglet, did they follow you home? You got me down here. You called me down here. I'm missing work. Stepdad, y'all, full uniform. Like, looked like he had to leave work, or he was on his way to work and now he late or whatever. So they looking at her, and she's just like, and I was just sitting there. Now I was like really irritated. So I'm like, yeah, Piglet, is that true? And she was like, well, so my dad was like, exactly. He was like, we were nothing but nice to you when you used to come to the house. He was like, Ayanna didn't want to be friends with you anymore because you got held back. And then her mom was like, oh, we don't need to talk about, we don't need to talk about households, anything like that. My dad was like, we're not talking about households. He was like, but the what expectation that we hold for Ayanna is clearly not the same expectation that y'all hold for Piglet. And that's y'all business. But my daughter is allowed to not want to be somebody's friend anymore without having to worry about coming to school to be harassed. He said, and not only that, now she's lying on my wife and I like we're just some creepy adults trying to get involved in kid drama. He was like, I don't need to do that. So again, the vice principal looks at Piglet and he's like, did this happen? She goes, no. Y'all, when I tell you her stepdad started snapping on her in this meeting, like snapping on her. He's looking at her. He was like, are you serious? I'm missing work. I'm missing work for this because you down here lying. Are you serious? He was like, for all of that, y'all could have just fought in the backyard, fought at the park or something. And my dad was like, I've been trying to get them to do that. He was like, but at the end of the day, I don't feel as though that's my daughter's prerogative, to be trying to be aggressive with your daughter when she was the one that's starting the problem. Because he looks at the principal. He was like, Mr. M, does Ayanna do anything? Has anybody come to you and said anything? He looked at Piglet. He was like, has she done anything to you? Has she tweeted? Has she posted anything about you? And she was like, well, no, but she be looking at me, looking at me up and down. And she tried to say that I tried to jump her. I was like, y'all did. I was like, you were standing outside. And this is, y'all, I was like, you were standing outside the classroom. You were standing outside the classroom, basically being a puppet master when Eeyore and Tigger tried to jump me and stab me with a pencil. So her mom was like, what? What is this? What? So my dad, y'all, gives her the full breakdown of how we had to meet up with Tigger, her mom, Eeyore, her mom. And she's like, well, why wasn't I called to that meeting? He was like, I don't know. He's like, we should have called you to the meeting, but we tried to hash it out with them because those two were the main ones involved. He was like, Piglet, she's going to do what she wants to do. So the stepfather was like, I don't believe this. This is ridiculous. He was like, you know what? He was like, you're failing in school. He was like, you're still failing. He was like, and this is how you utilizing your time. You interrupting lessons. You supposed to be in class. So her mom is like, wait, class was in session? I was like, yes, class was in session. So the principal didn't even really, he knew the situation. And he was like, yeah, we did, hear about that. So the mom is like, well, why didn't y'all call this meeting before? You talking about they were trying to stab somebody with a pencil and all this other stuff. He was like, we were trying to diffuse it. Tigger's mom reached out and asked for Ayanna's mom's number. So they tried to hash it out off of school grounds. So they're just looking at her. So her parents completely shell-shocked. They didn't know what was going on. So my dad now was trying to calm down. So I was just looking at her like, yo, I was just staring at her like this. Like just mean mugging her. And she's just like this, looking down, not trying to make eye contact. Because at that point, y'all, if I could have jumped over the table, it's one thing to try to lie on me. It's one thing to try to bully me. It's one thing to do all of that. But now you lying on my parents? My mom is home sick in bed with the flu, has been for days, and that's the first thing you pulled out the sky. I was like, that's exactly why I don't want to be cool with you no more. So I told the principal, I said, I haven't done anything. I said, as far as I'm concerned, she had a problem with the fact that I didn't want to be her friend anymore. I said, I didn't know it was a crime to not want to be somebody's friend anymore. I said, I didn't do anything to her. I didn't snake her out. I didn't do anything. I just didn't want to be her friend anymore. So the principal was like, you know what? This is why we called the meeting. He was like, we just need to hash everything out, leave it alone. He was like, I want you guys to be able to go back to class and leave this in the past. He was like, no more bullying, no more online threats, no more saying certain things online. He said, because after that, we're going to get you guys for cyberbullying. So I'm like, you keep saying y'all. He was like, I understand, Ayanna. He was like, but I'm saying like everybody across the board. He was like, we're going to get you for cyberbullying. And then one of the cops chimed in and he was like, yeah. And if you guys fight on school grounds, or if we find out that you guys fought off of school grounds to, escalate the situation, he was like, we will be, you guys will be at risk of being arrested. And then the vice principal was like, yeah, and at risk of being expelled. And y'all, I really wanted to say it was a thing because it was in there fighting and nothing was happening to them. But I'm about to get expelled and arrested if I fight this girl. Okay, granted. I was like, that's fine. I just want to be left alone. I want to be able to go back to class. I want to be able to go on with school and not have to worry about her. And again, her clique. I don't have time for it. So vice principal looks at Piglet and he's like, how do you feel? And she was like, it's fine. Like, we can just let bygones be bygones. But I didn't trust that girl. So she was like, we could just let bygones be bygones. So the stepdad was like, if I have to come down to this school again, I promise you, you're not going to like the outcome. I don't think that meeting played out the way that she thought it was going to play out. I don't even know if she thought that they were going to have a meeting. I don't know. What did you possibly would think if you went home and told your parents that another girl's parents were following you home as a 15, 16-year-old? Come on. Like, be for real. So after that, they were like, okay, well, let's just hash it out. So they sent us back to class. Our parents were still there with the cops and everything. They sent us back to class. So I'm looking at her and she's looking at me and she was just like, well, Ayanna, I just looked at her. I was like, girl, you ain't got nothing to say to me. I was like, I don't have nothing to say to you. You go about your business. I'm gonna go about my business. As long as you stay in your lane, I'm gonna stay in mine. I kept it pushing, went to class. Y'all, I'm thinking again, that was the end of it. But if that was the end of it, we wouldn't be telling a story time today, right? So fast forward, y'all, literally maybe things died down. I want to say maybe like a few weeks, right? She wasn't doing anything online anymore. She wasn't doing too much, but at the same time, she was low-key recruiting. Remember, she was a freshman again. So the new freshmen that came in that she got cool with had them mugging me in class, had them looking me up and down, had them subtweeting and posting stuff on Facebook. And I'm just like, I never understood how, like, I get it, like, if my friend got beef with you, I got beef with you too, but to really not know somebody, not know anything about them, and granted, I'm pretty sure Piglet was lying to them about anything, which gave them the reason to not like me, but it was just weird. So, like I said, she had fell back, but they were doing their stuff, but at that point, I was like, I don't care, as long as nobody touch my stuff or touch me, y'all can do what y'all want. I never really was one to really care about social media and all of that anyway, so I was like, it is what it is, right? So, boom. Literally, let me think. I honestly want to say maybe like around that same time frame, right? Tigger had saw me in the hallway and she was like, hey, I just wanted to say, I apologize and, I'm sorry about everything that happened with Piglet. She was saying, y'all, Piglet was telling them, right, that I basically was dealing with a guy that she was talking to, right, behind her back while she was dealing with him. Never happened. Straight lie. She was just a liar. So I was like, well, that never happened. And she was like, yeah, well, that's what she told us. Yeah, she told us that you tried to set her up when y'all went out to some party in XYZ town. And I'm like, set her up? I'm like, she ran into girls that didn't like her from Rosewood and they wanted to fight her. What are we talking about? Like, I was like, they wanted to fight her and I was the one that de-escalated the situation. I didn't even know those girls. So how did I set that up? So at this point, Tigger felt stupid and she was like, oh, wow, like, I didn't know that. Well, she was like, well, like I said, I want to apologize. Like, I want a clean slate. Like, can we just try over? Like, you seem cool. So, y'all, me being naive and dumb, and I know y'all probably like, girl, no. I befriended the girl, y'all. I know. So, we became cool. Like, we started talking a little bit, she kind of fell back and distanced herself from Piglet because I guess she felt like, girl, why did you lie? Like, you got me about to jump this girl in class the whole time. You were lying about everything just because she didn't want to be your friend. But I guess it's easier to lie and make up a story rather than telling somebody, well, I want to beat her up and I want to jump her because she don't want to be my friend no more. You sound crazy. But y'all, that's really what it was. She was just obsessed with me. So me and Tigger, we became, you know, somewhat cool, right? So she distanced herself from Piglet, and Piglet did not like that. She did not like that. And then her and Tigger started beefing a little bit, but I don't know. And the thing is, I don't even know if they were really friends before Tigger had transferred to my school from Rosewood. Like, I don't know. So I was just like, you know what? It is what it is. Clean slate. We can move on. Y'all, so fast forward, I want to say, like I said, that was maybe around like the winter time, right? So fast forward like closer to the end of the year, everything, we was cool. Me and Tigger, we were friends. Me and Eeyore, like, we saw each other in passing. It was just no more drama anymore, right? Like I said, Piglet had kind of calmed down. Maybe she was scared about the whole getting expelled thing. And even aside from that, I think she was just scared to fight. My bad, y'all. So like I said, fast forward toward the end of the year, right? And like I said, me and Tigger, we were cool. Piglet, everything had pretty much died down. So I was like, okay, cool. We going to the summer. Me, Tigger, Letty, we all hanging out. Like, I introduced her to Letty. Everybody was cool. Jasmine, like I said, knew her from school from my freshman year. Everything was cool. Copacetic, right? Fast forward to, I believe, was it junior year? I believe it was junior year, but I'm jumping the gun a little bit. That summer, right? Me and Letty, we were on our way to do like a two-man, like a little two-man mission to see these boys or whatever, right? So it was a Friday night, and we didn't have cars, obviously, and I don't even think Uber wasn't a thing. I think we were catching a cab, and we had to go like maybe 25 minutes away. So where Letty's house was, obviously we couldn't tell her grandmother that we were about to go see boys, so we had to lie about whatever we was doing. But we had to be out the house early. Y'all know how it was. You have to be out the house early. You can't really leave out at night. We had to basically lie about whatever we said we was going to do, but we left out like 2 hours beforehand. We ended up just walking around, and then we ended up sitting at like this fast food restaurant, and right next to the fast food restaurant were some apartments that had some steps, right? So we sitting there, we call our Uber. Taxi, y'all, my bad, not Uber. Now we waiting to get picked up so that we could go to the boys' house. So we sitting there, we chilling, we on our phones, we laughing, we talking. Now, across the street from this fast food restaurant, it's like a plaza. You got a laundromat, you got a nail shop, you got a beauty spa store, you got another fast food restaurant, you got a fish market, all right there. We sitting on the steps, and then as we looking, you could see clear, you could see the entire parking lot. You see two figures walking across the street. So Letty's like, I know that's not Piglet. And I'm like, where? So we glancing, they coming across the street. Sure enough, it was Piglet and this boy. We named him Santana because that's how he acted. If you know, you know. So he walks up and he was like, oh, because I'm pretty sure she told him. So he was like, oh, and he already knew Letty. Small world. So he was like, oh, and Piglet is like, oh, hey, Ayanna. I ignored her because, girl, I'm not doing this with you. And y'all, I looked cute. I was like, So Letty goes, what you talking to her for? She was like, if you don't want to fight, there's no need for you to even be speaking to her. She was like, oh, my bad. I didn't know she was your bodyguard. And Letty was like, I'm not her bodyguard, but if she can't fight you because she's going to get in trouble, then I can fight you. And then at the same time, I'm like, it's the summertime. Like, if you really, like, you need that, because if you need that, we could be on that. But y'all, again, she was doing the whole... She wasn't trying to fight. And I know y'all probably like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you swing on her? Why didn't you do this? Because I wasn't the one initiating it. I'm not that type of person, y'all. I've never been that type of person. I'm not about to just swing on you just because you don't like me. I'm not about to do that. For what? Some girls, you know, they got a lot to lose. Some don't. I had a lot to lose. And again, I'm not trying to mess up my face for nobody. My nails, my face, my hair.
Bitch, you want to fight me with these expensive ass nails on? No.
Again, not that type of girl. Y'all could call it bougie. Y'all could call it stuck up. Y'all could call it I don't really care. But at the time, it still am. I'm not that type of person. Letty was always trained to go. She did not care. To this day, she's still the same way. So she was like, well, if Ayanna don't want to fight you, I will. Piglet was like, well, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to fight you. I was like, you don't want to fight me either. Y'all, her and Santana standing there going back and forth this whole time. We're waiting on our taxi. I was like, well, we're about to leave in the next probably like 5 minutes. So if you want to do something, now is probably the time to do it. She was like, oh, Ayanna, you just think you're better than everybody. You just think you're better than me. You just think you're so better than me. I said, that's you projecting. You know, I don't think I'm better than you. You think I'm better than you, which is why you hate me so much, because I never did anything to you besides not want to be your friend. I said, you got me into so much more situations freshman year than anything. And I always had your back because that's the type of person that I am. She ain't had nothing to say. Santana's like, man, F what she talking about. F what she talking about. Like, come on, Piglet, just swing on her. Just swing on her. Piglet did not swing, y'all. Next thing you know, our cab came, right? So Letty was like, this your last chance, Piglet. This your last chance. It's summertime. Like, y'all could get this in before y'all even go back to school. Y'all could squash it right here. Piglet, I'm not worried about you. I'm not worried about you. Like we said, we was gonna let bygones be bygones, right? I'm like, yep. So she was like, okay, then that it is what it is. She was like, come on, Santana. They walk off. You could see Santana's like, what? You know, saying certain stuff. So I'm like, what you mean? Da, 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 you probably, because again, but she was never like that in person. So I was like, okay, y'all, we get our little cab ride. We go on with the rest of our night. Once we get to the boys' houses, right? While we online and Letty is seeing, I think she was on Twitter, why Piglet up there talking about, oh, Letty and Ayanna scary. They ran, me and Santana ran down on them and they didn't have nothing to say. This is what I mean. Ayanna's a punk, da da da. And I'm like, what? So Letty at this point, y'all, literally took a picture of Piglet. Took a picture of Piglet and put her picture up next to Piglet, the girl. So, y'all, that turned, like, she was pissed. When I tell you, she was like, oh, y'all think y'all funny, y'all think y'all funny. Trying to have her cousins, her sisters, her friends. She had everybody trying to comment on Letty's posts and stuff because she ain't like that. But it's like, again, I didn't do the online stuff. Letty didn't care because if you want to do the online stuff, I can too. She's like, Ayanna might not say nothing online. I'm not above that. I'm going to meet you right where you at. That's her type of carrying on. That wasn't mine. So Letty and her going back and forth online. That was it, right? Fast forward, now school starts. It's the start of junior year, for me at least, right? And we get back to school. As soon as we get back to school, what's her face? Tigger gonna come up to me, y'all. First day of school, first day back to school, gonna come up to me talking about, oh, I really don't appreciate, you know, what you did to, what you and Letty were saying about Piglet online. That was very mean. Like, you didn't have to put her picture up next to a pig. Like, that's mad rude. I was like, okay. I said, well, since you chose a side, you can stay there. I said, you fooled me once. That was a shame on you. You fooled me this time, the second time. That's a shame on me. I was like, we do not got to be cool. And she was like, that's all you got to say. That's all I got to say. You're not about to come to me and try to defend your friend. Clearly, that's still your friend. I'm cool. Don't trust you. You're cut off. And I walked off. It was beef with Tigger after that. Because, again, they don't like when you don't want to be their friend no more. They want you to grovel. They want you to... I don't know. They like drama. I was just, like I said, to this day, I don't care to cut people off. I do not care to not have friends. It is what it is. I cut off a lot of people this year alone. It is what it is. So, yeah, next thing I know, y'all, Piglet wasn't even at the school no more. She transferred. She went back to Rosewood. She probably couldn't hack it. They probably held her back again. She was going to be a freshman again when you're supposed to be a junior. So she ended up leaving. So I'm like, huh, Jasmine's like, oh, girl, what a relief. Like, da-da-da. Now, her little band of, like, freshmen, she had, like, little freshman boys and stuff that was, quote-unquote, backing her up. They kind of died down a little bit, too. But they was still, you know, looking at me crazy and stuff because she was still posting stuff online. But like I said, I didn't care because I didn't have to worry about you being in school with me, right? Y'all, fast forward to like January. Y'all know my birthday is in January. It's like my birthday week. And I remember, I think it was like a Friday, and my parents would come in to pick me up and we were going out to eat. And then my birthday was actually on that Saturday. So I'm in my locker. It's the end of the day, y'all. I'm going to see if I can find a picture. I had like this little silk shirt on with some flowers. I think I had braids or like some, I forget what I had, some twists or something, but I had that, so a nice shirt, I had on some leggings, and I had on some boots, right? I'm in my locker getting ready, getting my stuff. My mom calls me. She's like, oh, we waiting at the side door for you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all, I'm getting my stuff. Jasmine's like, okay, have fun, da-da-da, have a good weekend. Me and Jasmine are supposed to be linking the next day. So I was like, okay, cool. Y'all, as we getting our stuff, right, this girl, we'll just name her Girl G. She walks over, and she's like, girl, Piglet's downstairs looking for you. I'm like, Piglet's downstairs looking for who? She was like, for you. I was like, for what? She was like, she's talking about she's coming to fight you and all this other stuff. I'm like, here we go again. But at this point, I was happy because I'm like, hopefully she's really serious this time. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm tired of the back and forth. But again, I was like, damn, like my parents waiting for me. I'm cute. I'm not trying to fight right now. Like, she always want to pick the worst times. But I'm like, it is what it is. I'm not about to go out like no punk. Like, I'm not about to try to ease out the side door when everybody knows that she's there looking for me. So I get my stuff and I go downstairs, right? Get downstairs, y'all. It's a crowd because everybody's leaving for the weekend. You know, you got freshmen, seniors, juniors, everybody there. Teachers leaving. packed in like the main lobby area pretty much of the school. So I go downstairs and I see her, Tigger, her 2 freshman cronies, like 2-3 boys that she was kicking it with. And she was just standing there linked up against that table. I told you I was next to the auditorium. That used to have like little sign-in sheets there. So she's standing up leaning there, right? So I see her and I'm like, oh, you was looking for me? What Cash Doll say? I heard you was looking for me. So, yeah, so she's standing there and she was like, oh, and she was like, oh, you look cute. Huh? Like, y'all, I really didn't know what was, I think something was wrong with her. She said, oh, you look cute. And I was like, what are you here for? You was looking for me? And she was like, yeah, like, what's up? I said, what's up? You came all the way from Rosewood. Clearly, you either missed school, left school early, whatever, just so you could get here to be here when I got out of school. So, again, what's up? Mind y'all, it's a crowd now. It's a crowd because everybody knew that we had beef. Everybody realized that she wasn't at the school no more, right? Why this one boy... Do he need a name? He don't really need no name. He was like one of these boys. He was a white boy that I was really cool with. Like, I think we had a lot of classes together. Freshman year, sophomore year, junior year. Like, we had a lot of classes together. And we were just cool. Y'all, my high school is very small. Like, the entire population of the school was like 400. I know some of y'all probably went to school where y'all one grade was 400. No. It was like 400 students. It was like 80 to 100 students per each grade. Very small school. So... everybody's there, and you know, some boys want to see a fight, girls want to see a fight, you know, y'all know how it is, it's just normal. So this boy, he yells out, he was like, didn't you drop out? What are you here for, causing all of these problems? Did you skip school today? Or did you get held back again?
It doesn't even go here.
So as he says this, people started laughing, right? And then she looks at him. She was like, oh, nobody's talking to you. Nobody's talking to you. She was like, I could have somebody come down here and handle you. He was like, you can't even handle your own problems. How you going to get somebody to come down here and handle me? So, again, people in the crowd laughing. I'm still just standing there. So, I have Jasmine with me. And then the girl, G, was, like, standing there. So, and then Jasmine's older sister from the Halloween story time. So, we're just standing there. And I'm just looking. And, again... stone-faced, and then my mom is calling me because at this point she's like, well, where are you at? So I texted her real fast. I said, oh, Piglet's inside the school, hold on. I don't even know when my mom texted me back after that. So again, I put my phone away. I give my phone to Jasmine, take my bag off, and I give her my stuff. So I'm like, again, I know one of y'all commented and was like, girl, you're not supposed to wear a hoodie. You know, you're not supposed to wear a hoodie when you fight, girl. That's how they get you. Piglet could not fight, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, when she pulled off my friend's hijab in middle school, she got beat up then too. So maybe you learned some skills, but if you did, I feel like you would have been applied them, and you just haven't. You had freshman summer when you ran into me at the cookout, you did nothing. Sophomore year, standing outside the classroom, you did nothing. Summertime when I saw you with Letty outside the KFC, you did nothing. And now here, I'm pretty sure y'all, she was going to do nothing. So a hoodie was the least of my worries and hers. So again, she was like, oh, Ayanna, so what's up? So what's up? I said, what's up? I said, you came all the way down here. She was like, yeah, because clearly you want to fight. So Jasmine's sister was like, girl, what? She was like, you came all the way down here. And then y'all, this made me feel so good because people was really backing me up because y'all see how delusional this girl really is. So she was like, girl, what? You came all the way down here? All the way down here to just talk again. So people was like, oh, brother, y'all know the SpongeBob, like, oh, brother, this guy stinks because, girl. So again, she was like, oh, I'm not worried about none of y'all. She was like, y'all always trying to back her up. Y'all always trying to back her up. So I'm like, oh, just like they be trying to back you up. Tigger, Eeyore, all of them not saying nothing. Tell me why they slowly started like moving to the side, like into the crowd, leaving her exposed by herself. So again, I started walking up closer to her. So I said, again, what's up? Like now I'm in her face. So as close as I am to y'all with the camera, that's how close I am in her face. So I'm like, again, what's up? I was like, I have plans. I have somewhere to be. She was like, oh girl, all you gotta do is swing. All you gotta do is swing. I said, you came all the way down here. You swing and I'm gonna handle that. I don't get what this is because again, I can still get expelled, and that's what you came down here to do, is to get me in trouble because you don't go here anymore. Like, girl, what? So then that's when I guess somebody went and got the principal or whatever, and they were like, oh, they said the cops coming. They said the cops coming, and she's talking about some. I don't care about no cops. I don't care about no cops. Ayanna, you care about the cops though, right? You care about the cops. I said, no, clearly you do, because I know if I swing on you first, that's the first people that you're gonna call to press charges on me. I'm not crazy. Like, girl, what? Y'all, as she's doing this, why somebody from the crowd had a balled up piece of paper and launched it and popped her up. Y'all, they threw the piece of paper and it popped her on the side of the head. She was like, who threw that? Who threw that? And people was like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And they was like, Ayanna, you don't gotta fight her. You don't gotta fight her. She's scary. She's a punk. She's a punk. And I was like, yeah, this is what I needed. You wanted a crowd so bad. You got it. Because there was so many times we could have handled this, again, at the park by my house, by Jasmine's house. The town is this big. And all of the times I just told y'all. But again, you came all the way down here because you wanted to cause a scene. So here's your scene. They yelling at her. The kids yelling at her. Next thing you know, I was like, yeah, I looked at Tigger. I was like, y'all not going to back your friend up? Y'all not going to back your friend up? She's like, Ayanna, this don't got nothing to do with us. Y'all, Piglet looked so embarrassed. She was just like, wow, y'all fake. Y'all fake as hell. Y'all fake as hell. So they're like, well, you came down here to fight her, girl. Like, we not trying to get in trouble for you. Like, if you going to fight her, just pop on her. Like, just do what you have to do. I'm like, exactly. Listen to your friends. Piglet, listen to your friends. She was not trying to do that. Next thing you know, the vice principal walks up and he was like, Piglet, what are you doing on school grounds? You don't go here anymore. He was like, the school is definitely gonna press charges on you. So she was like, you know what, I'm leaving. She's like, Ayanna, I'll see you. She's like, I'll see you. I'll be seeing you, something like that. And I was like, okay, you seeing me right now. So I was like, you're gonna leave and then try to do the internet stuff again. I was like, girl, this is gonna be your last chance. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Y'all, it really was her last chance. I never saw that girl again. So I was like, this is your last chance. She was like, I'm not worried about you. She left. She left out those front doors, and I literally never saw her again, right? So that was that. I was like, okay. I went, me and Jasmine, we walked back to the side door. We left. I said my goodbyes to her. I got in the car. My mom was like, what happened? Why you wasn't texting me back? Why you didn't answer the phone? I'm like, because I couldn't have my phone. Like, Piglet came into the school wanting to fight, caused a scene. I said the people in the crowd was throwing stuff at her, was yelling at her, was mocking her, she was embarrassed. I said they said it was going to call the cops. The vice principal came out. I'm just giving her the rundown. And they were just like, what? They was like, my dad was like, that girl really is, something's wrong with her. I said, she's obsessed with me. And she's obsessed with attention. She don't care if it's good, bad, or ugly. She just wants the attention on her. She's weird. So we go off. I enjoy my little birthday weekend. That's that, right? Y'all. So, like I said, I didn't see Piglet anymore after that. Come to find out, y'all, literally, I think, like, she got kicked out. I think her mom kicked her out. And this is all from Letty being on her Facebook and stuff. She got kicked out. And I wish I could post the pictures, y'all, because me and Letty was just talking about this the other day. Because I found the pictures on the girl's Facebook. And I sent it to Letty. Y'all, why she had got kicked out. And this is a side note because we're not done with the story. But side note, why she had got kicked out. Her mom kicked her out, I guess, because I personally think, y'all, she really did get held back again. Even when she went to Rosewood, she ended up dropping out, right? Her mom kicked her out. She ended up renting a room or something, got a little job or whatever, rented a room like maybe 3, 4, 5 towns, 5 counties or something over. Y'all, why she tried that fake tough stuff with them and they jumped her and beat her up? Why this girl, and back when it happened, I remember she got on Facebook and posted the picture, was like, and I still look cute. Y'all, she had 2 black eyes, like full-blown black eyes, a busted lip, a cut right here. She still got those pictures on her Facebook to this day. People in the comments was like, what happened to your eye? Somebody said, oh, wow, that karma finally caught up to you. One girl from my high school was like, we knew you couldn't fight. I don't know why she still has these comments up there from like 14, 15, however long ago I was in high school, what, 10? Yeah, like 10 years ago. And I'm like, I just thought that was crazy. So again, I never saw her again. She finally got her karma, and I told y'all she could not fight. All of that talking for nothing, right? So again, fast forward, the rest of the year, calms down. That was, like I said, January. Rest of the year, pretty much smooth sailing for the most part, up until closer to the end of the year, right? So now we're in like maybe school lets out in June. We're probably in like April, May, right? Y'all, around this time, like I said, Tigger now didn't like me. And I'm like, wow, got rid of one problem just for another one to spawn, right? So Tigger was cool with some girl and from Rosewood, but y'all, she was older. The girl was 21 years old. At the time, I was like 17. And like I told y'all, Tigger was a year older than me. So at this time, she probably was like 18. I was 17. And the girl she was friends with was 21. I honestly think that was her girlfriend, like her actual girlfriend. Or some girl she was talking to or whatever. Experiment. I don't know. But they was a little bit more than just friends. So they was on, Letty had peeped that Tigger was on Twitter, Facebook, talking to this girl, but the girl then started subbing me. I don't even know the girl, never met the girl. She's on there subbing me, talking about, people need to know that dimples are a deformity. I have dimples, y'all. And don't mind my broke nail, y'all. This one broke, but I still want to get y'all story time out. I got a nail appointment on Saturday. It's been hard finding a nail tech, so not too much. I'm in between hairstyles. I'm in my little ugly phase right now, y'all, until I can get everything freshly done. So not too much on me. But yeah, so she was like, oh yeah, dimples are a deformity. And then y'all, I have a tattoo, like one of my first tattoos is like on my lower stomach, and it's like a pink bow, right? So the girl was like, oh yeah, she looks like she got her she was like, her tattoo, and it's pink, but you know, like it's faded because obviously, like, I'm what, brown skin, so it's not like as if I was light skin. You can't see the color as well, but you can still see it. The girl was hating, mind you. Shorty was darker than me, but was saying online that, oh yeah, her tattoo looks like you dumped a strawberry in coffee, like just saying ignorant, stupid stuff. Again, the cyberbullying, the what they used to call them back in the day, y'all, Twitter thugs. That was so old. But yeah, just going off, just saying all of this stuff. So at this point, I'm like, what? So then she was like, oh yeah, the shorty always need Mama Bear and Papa Bear to come save her, and da da da. She was like, I bet you she's not gonna do that with me. I bet you she's not gonna do that with me. Saying all of this stuff online. So again, Letty, like this, my best friend who Piglet pulled the hijab off of, her too, they on the girl post talking about, what's up, who are you, like what's this, what's that, like if you got a problem, you got a problem with me, you got a problem with my big sister, my big cousin, blah blah blah. She was like, oh, nobody's worried about y'all. I'm worried about Ayanna because she crossed my friend. Again, Tigger knew that Piglet lied on me, and now Tigger's lying, because again, y'all, I'm not saying that I was super innocent, but again, I did not have beef with these girls. I had no specific reason to have beef with none of these girls. They just didn't like me. Call it jealousy, call it being obsessed, call it being jealous of the relationship I had with my parents, which is why people be so quick to bring up how are you mad because my parents are protective? Isn't that their job? It's their job to ride me about my grades. It's their job to protect me. It's their job to make sure that y'all don't try to jump me. That's their job. But again, whatever. So this girl's popping all of this online, right? Again, I told Letty, I told my one of my best friends, I was like, just leave it alone. Like, it's not that serious. Like, we could just leave it alone. Unless that girl, I'm at the point now, like I said, unless somebody's physically touching me, I don't care anymore. So, y'all, like I said, fast forward maybe like 2-3 weeks after she's posting this online, right? Another day, I'm back at my locker. It's the end of the day. My dad's picking me up, my little side door that I come out of because I didn't like the crowded hallways when everybody is like, the buses is in the front, people walking home. It was just too much, you know, traffic in the front. So my parents used to just park on the side door, like either right there at the street or like a little bit across the street. I would just come out and get in the car. So this particular day, actually the night before this happened, right? Shorty was on, and what can we name her? I keep saying Shorty. We'll name her Gums. So Gums is like on Twitter talking about, oh yeah, I bet you Mama Bear and Papa Bear can't save her tomorrow. So again, they're having this conversation on Twitter, like full blown on Twitter where everybody can see it. And Tigger's like, oh yeah, she goes out the side door by XYZ class and XYZ hallway. So Gums is like, oh yeah, well, I'll be outside waiting for her. You know, don't worry, you just meet me out there, you know, beforehand, and I'll be out there so that way I can catch her before she leaves. Why are you posting your entire operation online? So again, Letty is like, oh, do you need me to be at the school? Do you need me to be at the school? I was like, you can if you want to, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, I could stand on my own too. Like, it's cool. So she was like, all right, just let me know if you need me. I'm like, okay. Y'all, so fast forward the next day. I'm going through my whole day, right? I'm looking at Tigger. Tigger looking at me like she just knew something crazy was about to happen, right? So I'm like, okay, girl. So it's the end of the day, right? My dad, I had already told my dad. I don't know where my mom was, maybe work or something, I don't know. But it was just my dad. Y'all, I told my dad, I'm like, oh yeah, you know. He was like, yeah. He was like, just to let you know, he's like, I'm at the side door. He was like, she right here. He said, Tigger's right here too. So my dad is quiet, y'all. The town is quiet until school gets out. It's really quiet street, everything. You can hear a pin drop out there for the most part. So they outside. Tigger, I guess, left class early or whatever just so she could be outside. To go outside to meet Gums. So my dad texted me. He was like, oh yeah, they right here, right? Y'all. So again, at my locker, I'm with Jasmine at my locker, and I'm like, my dad just texted me and said that Gums is outside with Tigger. And she was like, what? So then sure enough, another girl comes up to me that was in our grade, and she was like, girl, Gums is outside. Well, not Gums, but they was like, Tigger's outside with some girl. I was like, yeah, girl, I know. Y'all, went to my gym locker, put on some sneakers, put on a t-shirt, and I don't remember what my hair was back then, but I think I probably had box braids or something. I don't know. But I was like, okay. I come out the side door. As I'm walking out the side door, right? Actually, no, I had to go to my locker to get my textbooks for, you know, my homework or whatever. So then I'm leaving out. I tell my dad, like, I'm on my way. I come out, y'all. You got kids outside, like, right there is a crowd laughing. And I'm like, what happened? So I open the door. Ticker's right there, standing there. I come outside. Gums is still waiting her shoes. And then she's turned around, yelling at somebody. Y'all, I look, why is my dad going back and forth with this girl? Y'all, I wish I would have recorded it. I swear to God, I do. My dad, and as y'all know from my story times, my dad is like, yeah, what you out here, mind you, he could get with her because she's 21. I'm a minor at this point. You're an adult. My dad's not going to put hands on you, obviously, but you're an adult, so he can say what he want. So my dad was like, yeah, you coming down here looking like Mr. Ed. Y'all, Mr. Ed, I told y'all, Gums. So he's like, yeah, you coming down here looking like Mr. Ed. You think you're going to do something to my daughter? You think you're going to do something to my daughter? He's like, Ticker, she was nothing but nice to you. You at my house. You doing all of this. He was like, we get rid of Piglet and now you just take her place. He was like, what is it? What is it with y'all? What did my daughter do? That's all it is. She's like, your daughter talks too much. Your daughter talks too much. He was like, all right, well, after she handles Gums, I'm going to make sure she handles you too. And we're just going to leave it at that. So he's saying all these insults to her, talking about, look how you look. Look at this. Look at that. He was like, you a punk. Mind you, y'all, she had a lanyard. Y'all know the lanyard that go around your neck with the keys? And she's twirling this lanyard. So I come down the stairs. I give my dad my textbook, give him my bag and stuff. And I'm like, what's up? Because, again, we back in the same situation. So I'm like, what's up? She's twirling this lanyard. So I was like, girl, if you hit me with that lanyard, like, it's up for you. And she was like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? So she's swinging the lanyard like she was like the what's that girl? What's that movie, y'all? Kill Bill? When she was fighting the Asian girl and she was doing them nunchucks or whatever she was doing with the little spike ball. That's how she was swinging this lanyard. So my dad was like, take that lanyard from her. So I eliminated that distance because we were far enough apart for her to be able to like slash me with it and like hit me with it. She had mad keys, like a janitor's set of keys on this lanyard. She's just swinging the lanyard. So I eliminated that space. As soon as she swung it one more time, I grabbed it and pulled it, right? Pulled her into me. And I took the lanyard and threw it on the ground, right? So I'm like, so what's up? What you want to do? So now I'm in her face. And she was like, oh, girl, you're a minor. You're 17. If y'all made the same face I did, y'all, I was so confused. So my dad was like, you came all the way down. He said, what is it with y'all coming all the way down here to this school? To then when you see that she's matching your energy, they only thrive off of it is if I was running scared. I'm never going to run scared. I'm never going to do that. So I'm like, you came all the way down here to fight me. And then again, the crowd was like, oh boy, we keep thinking we're going to see a fight. Y'all come all the way down here to fight little Ayanna and y'all still not on that. Y'all, Tigger was like, what'd she say? She was like, oh, well, she just came down here to have, what? Y'all, I'm sorry. Yeah, Tigger was like, oh, well, she just came down here in support of me. My dad was like, no. He was like, y'all came down here. He said, I heard y'all talking like, oh, yeah, she's about to come out right now. Da-da-da, just hit her with the keys. Just do this. And then you pop on her and then I'm going to follow up. My dad was like, not on my watch. So she was like, oh, so like, again, y'all, I pulled into her and I threw her keys on the ground and I'm in her face. So I'm like, what's up? And then she was like, oh, you're a minor girl. I'm not trying to go to jail for you. My dad's like, what did you come down here for then? So at this point, who comes out the side door? The principal. The principal was like, get off of my property. Get off of this school's property before I call the cops. Talking to Gums. So he's like, get off the school's property before I call the cops. And he looked at Ticker. He was like, you're in for a rude awakening. He was like, you're getting expelled. He was like, you're getting expelled. He was like, I told you guys, I'm over this. I'm done with this, with the drama and all of this. He was going off. Y'all, why next thing you know, you hear the cop sirens. You hear, woo, 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 coming. Why? I swear to God to y'all. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Tigger, Gums, take off running. Swear to God, they take off running down the street toward her. She had a gold Corolla, like an old gold Corolla. They jump into this car. The cops, woo, 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 getting closer and closer. They in the car. She pulls off. Next thing you know, you see the cops chasing after them. They took the cops, y'all, on like a 10-minute chase through this town. I told y'all the town is like that big. Took them through a high-speed chase through the town. Both got arrested. Yeah. And on top of that, the school pressed charges on Tigger and on Gums. Yeah. And then word through the grapevine was that Gums was working at, like, I think FedEx or UPS or something. They fired her. Baby girl started working at Baby Gap. All in like a blink of an eye at 21 years old. What did you come to? My thing is, like, y'all lose way more when y'all do stuff like that rather than just fighting. You would have been better off if you would have just fought me. Like, I don't know. But to get chased, to run and then get chased, y'all. Long story short, Tigger got expelled. She ended up having to go to Rosewood. Mind you, it was her senior year. She had to go to Rosewood and then got, I don't think she ever graduated from there either. I don't think her or Piglet ever graduated. But yeah, so that was the end of that. And then, of course, Gums was still online, talking. She was like, oh, girl, hit me up once you turn 18. Or once you, what'd she say? Hit me up once you turn 18. Huh? You knew I was 17 when you came down here. I was so confused. But that was pretty much everything that happened with all of them. After Piglet was gone, after Tigger was gone, my senior year flew with flying colors. I had a good time. All of Piglet's little cronies all wanted to be cool with me now. Everybody wanted, oh, girl, what are you doing? Oh, girl, da-da-da. Oh, girl, da-da. Everybody wanted to be cool. The boys wanted to be cool. I actually ended up going to prom with one of the boys. Like, I don't know. People just like to be followers, I guess, back then. My parents never taught me to be a follower. That's all I could say. But yeah, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this story. I don't know exactly how long this story was, so yeah. But I didn't want to make it into a part 3 because I could have, but no, I tried to give y'all as much details as I could. But like I said, I never spoke to Piglet again. I never saw, I never saw Tigger again either. I think she still follows Letty on like Instagram or something. She looked crazy, smoked out, whatever. Not my business. So yeah, that was that. And I don't know whatever happened to Gums, but that was that too. And I wish I could really post their pictures, y'all, so y'all can really see why Piglet look like Piglet. But I'm gonna stop because I just said no online bullying, right? So yeah, that was that. Like I said, I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. Again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, run those numbers up. We are on the road to 2K. I appreciate y'all. All I can say is, y'all, if you have anything that you want to do in life, I don't care what it is. If you want to go out and be an orange picker, go be the best orange picker you can be, because you never know where it could get you. But without further ado, I will see y'all in my next video. Peace.
Hi.